Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of the Losers Lounge podcast. There's been quite a number of episodes lately, and there will be another one tomorrow. First off, I want to say AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium was wild, to say the least, for reasons we'll be talking about in tomorrow's podcast when we discuss and predict All Out. Today, however, is WWE Payback predictions. This is the first time that Payback has taken place since 2020, and you guys probably have noticed by now that there's an interesting time jump in between the last number of events. The last one before 2020 was in 2017. 3 years. So every 3 years there's a Payback event. 2017, 2020, and now 2023. I guess we're already expecting 2026 to be the next one. More on that later. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, please join me in welcoming two-time Losers Lounge member of the Year and Optimistic Hall of Famer, the heelest of ballers.
Hey, yo, what's up? What's up? YouTube, the heelest of ballers is here, and it's great to be back on the greatest podcast in professional wrestling going today. You can, whether you disagree or agree with it, it is what it is. Anyways, great to be back on the podcast to talk Payback. All In was fun as heck. Loved it. Can't wait to talk about it tomorrow and All Out, but yeah, we'll get to that tomorrow. But yeah, time to talk the payest of the back.
The payest of the back. That's really funny.
There's a lot of back talk in this show.
Yeah, and here's a question I got for you, Willie. Does it really feel like it's feels empty in here after the last two episodes? We had a lot of guests.
Feels empty, yeah.
Now it's just back to the two of us.
Cool with me.
Yeah, cool with me indeed. I guess after all the guests we had, it's just nice to have just a nice little chat between us two.
Oh yeah.
You guys will definitely be seeing some guests in later episodes, so don't worry about that. We got a lot to talk about for that. And I must say, before we get started on anything, I want to say that it's crazy at how many events we got coming up for the rest of this year, because there's Payback, and there's All Out this upcoming Labor Day weekend. Happy early Labor Day weekend, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
And you know what that also means for a lot of places? School is starting.
Yeah, dude.
For some places, school has already started, but if your school is going to start after Labor Day weekend, we as the losers want to take this moment and say, study hard, make sure you keep up with your homework, don't skip classes, blah, 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 all the usual shit adults are supposed to say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, though, we're all rooting for you. Make sure you keep up with your studies, hand in your homework, do everything you can to graduate, and set up a bright and glorious future for yourself.
Yeah.
Or you could be like us and just hang out on a podcast.
And that's what we do.
Oh, yeah. But don't worry, folks. We do other things, too, so don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of events, like I mentioned, Payback is what we're talking about today. All Out, we'll be talking about tomorrow. And then after that, at the end of September, we're talking NXT No Mercy. That is going to be fun.
I love night takeovers. And
then right after that, almost immediately, a brand new event hosted by AEW known as Wrestle Dream to commemorate the year's passing of the late great Antonio Inoki. So I like the idea of that.
Oh, we're talking that? Okay, something new.
Yep, it's a new pay-per-view, October 1st for 2023 for AEW. It's going to be in Seattle, Washington. So if there's any of our fans in Seattle, Washington, you got a big event coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and also in October, I believe we'll be talking WWE Fastlane.
Yeah.
It's another pay-per-view that's coming back. That just like Payback comes back every 3 years. Fastlane seems to come back every 2 years. There's 2019, 2021, now 2023.
Yep.
There's quite a weird pattern here.
It is, dude.
And then, of course, we'll be talking in November, we'll be talking WWE Crown Jewel, and then also AEW Full Gear, and, of course, WWE Survivor Series.
Right.
Basically, we have a lot to come up for the rest of this year. And Willie just got a message from the anonymous Raw general manager.
It's just X, whatever, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So Twitter, anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of, follow Heel Balor at Heel Balor. For me, follow me at Maracle Man. Links for both of us are in the description on X.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, much as we have a lot to talk about when it comes to WWE Payback, we're about to take a little bit of a somber tone here. And Willie knows exactly why. This past week has been rough for the world of pro wrestling. We lost two greats. During the podcast for All in London, we had already heard about the passing of WWE Hall of Famer Terry Funk. Age 79, died, I believe, of natural causes. And right after we recorded the podcast, about a few hours later, one of the most heartbreaking and shocking news broke from Triple H, which was the passing of Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And I'll be perfectly honest, where I was when this happened, I was literally about to order Red Lobster for dinner. I remember this. I was like, hey, I'm craving seafood. I'm going to order from Red Lobster. Have a nice dinner. Have a nice hangout. And then I see that tweet from Triple H. And at first glance, I thought he was actually about to say that it was Mike Rotunda who passed away. I was about to say, Bray Wyatt's father? IRS? What happened? But then look even more into it, and I was like, at that moment, I couldn't speak. I was, like, let's just say, like, my throat seized up. I started trembling and literally I literally fell apart after that. Broke down crying really bad because Bray Wyatt was one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and what Bill Balor and I are going to do is we're going to take this moment to talk about Bray Wyatt, talk about the impacts he made on our lives before we get to Payback, because we figured this is something that we should start the podcast off with since we were unable to talk about it prior up until now. So first I'm going to ask Willie, Willie did make a video on his own YouTube channel. Go ahead and check it out if you want to, where he did talk about the news of the passing of Bray Wyatt. But I figure we'll take this moment and I'll ask Willie, honestly, when you first got this news, what went through your mind?
So when I got the news, I was hanging with my boys on Skype, and I don't really know how to describe it, what I was feeling at the moment. First, I was like, at first I kind of just I laughed at my friend. I'm like, dude, shut up. What are you talking about? Like, this ain't real and that. What are you talking about? And I go to Triple H's his account, and I look at it, I'm like, what the heck? I didn't break down into the video, obviously. I don't do that shit for show. I don't do it for clicks and views. I keep my audience very updated with everything, and I decided to break it down to them, and I chugged into the video, and then we stayed on for about as long as we could. We talked about Bray, and that was the most hardest things I've been a part of with my crew since the passing of Brody Lee, and I still can't believe, honestly. I still think, I remember saying my buddy, no, he's here. We're dreaming right now. I kept reassuring, he's still here, he's alive. But now I didn't say it until about an hour later. And but I guess I'll talk about much Bray meant to me. His character was just unique. You never saw another character like Bray, like Wyndham Rotunda, the Fiend, the Firefly Funhouse, cult leader, whatever. He meant so much to us, and 36 is young as heck, and he will be missed. He was a good man. I know all the talent loved him. Watching this past week on Raw, everyone doing their tributes and all that, watching Becky break down at the end of the show, Seth with the Fiend side plates. Of course, AEW did their tribute at All In, which was fantastic. Thousands of Fireflies out there in that stadium. Thousands of Fireflies in NXT. The Rocking Chair on SmackDown. The Rocking Chair on Raw and NXT. So many tributes. TNA did a tribute, obviously, this past week at their show. A lot of people in the business, loved Bray Wyatt. And, again, like I said, you're never going to see another character like Bray. There's nobody who can replace Bray. There's not going to be another Bray Wyatt. And he will be missed. There's a large hole in the wrestling world to be filled, obviously, with Bray Wyatt. But, he's always going to light the way forever. And his memory will be forever on this earth, and he's in a good place. It's so surreal, honestly, to fathom that he's not here. Because like 2 weeks before the whole thing, it's like, oh, he's ready to come back and all that. And reality hits, it's like, wow, you know, life is cruel. Life can be precious. Life can be cruel. It's something. Just he's like I say, he's in a good place. His memory will be living on forever. And yeah, thank you, Bray. My favorite Bray memories. I loved when he won the WWE title. I loved this ride with Daniel Bryan. I love this. I didn't say I loved. I enjoyed this ride with Finn Balor. Obviously, the John Cena shtick was cool. Him facing the Undertaker. Obviously, him and Undertaker this past a few months ago on Raw 30 was great. So many memories with Bray Wyatt that I can remember. His ride with Randy Orton. So many fun memories with Mr. Wyatt, and him and Brody up there wherever they are, and then they're dancing and having fun up there. And also rest in peace to Terry Funk as well. And he had a good life. He created good memories as well for everybody. I didn't grow up with Terry Funk, but I do know about him, and I do know the legacy that he made and the impact he made on everybody. So rest in peace to two great individuals. You will be missed. And that's all I gotta say, honestly. Thank you both of you.
That was amazing, man. Because it really shows this is honestly a moment where, tragic as the situation is, it's actually helped the entire wrestling community come together. For the longest time, we just forgot all about, whose company's better. We forgot about everything like that. Literally every single wrestling community came together to honor him. And that's so amazing. Yeah. One of the things that was heartbreaking to watch on SmackDown last Friday was, at the very front was Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
Just seeing them, it's like, Rowan, he ain't signed with the company anymore, but I am so glad that WWE allowed him to be there.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think they personally invited him.
I want to give props to the wrestling world, for everyone coming out and doing their part, to celebrate the lives of two individuals, and just the SmackDown roster, the Raw roster, NXT, AEW. I know New Japan did something apparently. Impact, the wrestling roster and the wrestling world came together that day, and they're still coming together. It's still surreal, honestly, to see this, and it's crazy. Props to everybody.
For my take on the whole thing, I've been a massive fan of Bray Wyatt since I first saw the Wyatt family's debut vignettes in 2013, because I'll be honest, when Willie, you and I saw him when he was Husky Harris down to the old NXT being mentored by Cody Rhodes.
I remember that.
Yep. And he briefly joined up with the Nexus, which became the new Nexus under CM Punk, but then Husky Harris got punted out of the equation, and, he went down to NXT, reformed himself, became Bray Wyatt. And I'll be honest, with a name like Husky Harris, I didn't even think, I really didn't care for him. Then I'd be like, okay, that's just calling him Husky. I get it, because he's big. Yeah, ha, 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 very funny. But I never could take him seriously because he wasn't showing anything. Until he did drop some weight, and then created some new things, and then later became Bray Wyatt. And when I first saw that, I won't lie, the first time we saw a vignette for the debut of the Wyatt family in 2013, I honestly thought that was during a commercial break, and I thought that was a trailer to a horror movie coming out. And I was like, this is interesting. I like horror movies. What do we got here? Okay, it looks like a backwoods cult or something. Okay, what's the title? They're not showing us? Okay, that was weird. And I just passed it off like it was nothing. I didn't even recognize Husky Harris or Bray Wyatt. I didn't recognize him. And I didn't know who the other two were. I was like, okay, there's a guy wearing a sheep mask, and there's another guy hanging out here. What's going on here? And then we saw it. Then I saw it again, except it was a different problem. That's when I started to click. I was like, wait a minute, this is debuting faction. I thought this was for a movie. And when I started looking into him more, I was like, that guy looks like Husky Harris. Who is this guy? Because I wasn't watching much of NXT when it was the this was after it became, what later became the Black and Gold era. I didn't watch NXT because over up here in Canada, we didn't have access to it. So, I was like, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that guy looks like Husky Harris. And later on, I looked up online. It's like, oh, his name's Bray Wyatt. Well, that's a new name. Okay. And it's like, okay, the Sheep guy's name's Eric Rowan, and the other guy's name's Luke Harper. All right. I never heard of the other two, so let's see what they got. And I started liking this more because he was talking in riddles, and I love that, I'm a huge horror film fan. I've watched horror movies all the freaking time. I even made horror films. And
there you go.
Yeah, here's the thing. The Wyatt family, with Bray Wyatt, inspired me to create several things. Like, I did create a ghost in a movie, a horribly budgeted and a horribly made film called Disturbance. There was a ghost who wore a sheep mask, and I did that in reference to Eric Rowan and the Wyatt family, because I thought, how freaky would it be if there was an actual ghost wearing that thing? I was like, that would look really cool. At the same time, creepy. Because you don't expect that from a ghost. And so, I did that. And it was fun. It's like Bray Wyatt really inspired me to create more horror characters, and he was part of the inspiration which allowed me to create what my fans know as Huntra Pain, my dark side. Because I'm like, every person's got a dark side within them, so why not showcase that thing as its own supernatural being? And the Wyatt family debuted in 2013. It was amazing. It was so freaking awesome. With the lantern, with that entrance, the audience welcomed them all instantly. And then, the one thing, of course, that was frustrating over the years was poor booking as a result of big-time matches. They had Bray Wyatt. He started things off really amazing, dominating, feuding with Daniel Bryan, heading into, TLC, and then the Royal Rumble, a steel cage match on Raw. All those occasions were fucking wild, and it was insane. And then I was like, he's moving from that to feuding with John Cena for WrestleMania. And I was excited, but then I still believe to this day they made the wrong move by having Cena win at WrestleMania. Because I'm like, the way the feud was being built up, Bray Wyatt should have won that. But also, the one thing I was actually hoping for is cool as it is to see a feud with Bray Wyatt, John Cena, I would have preferred if the Wyatt family took on the Shield at WrestleMania instead of the Elimination Chamber. Could you imagine if the Shield took on the Wyatt family at WrestleMania 30, the same night that there's the Daniel Bryan thing? How wild do you think that would have been, Willie?
Oh, great, seriously.
Yeah. But the good thing is, over the years, Bray Wyatt changed things up. The Firefly Funhouse was awesome. I thought this was honestly, and when I first saw the Firefly Funhouse, I was like, oh my god, what is this? Is this Vince McMahon all over it? And then when I looked on, I was like, wait a minute, now this honestly feels like this is Bray Wyatt's doing. And thankfully, of course, that all of it was Bray Wyatt's idea, which I loved. And I love the Fiend. I remember being in Toronto for SummerSlam in 2019. I witnessed the first ever entrance of the Fiend in person when he took on Finn Balor. And I was legitimately frightened to see that freaking thing. And I've been at Survivor Series in Chicago that same year when he took on Daniel Bryan for the Universal title. And being in that arena in a Bray Wyatt match when there's those freaking red lights all over the place, I felt like I was in hell. I literally did. A lot of people were just constantly complaining about the red lights. Oh, you can't really see anything. I'm like, I think that's the point. But at the same time, I can understand the frustration on that part. But then, of course, everybody knows about the infamous Hell in a Cell match in 2019, or the fact that The Fiend dropped the Universal title in 2 minutes to Goldberg. Yeah, a lot of controversial stuff happened. And hold on. When I first heard of Bray Wyatt's passing, like I said, I fell apart. Because Bray Wyatt was one of my all-time favorites because I'm a big fan of his cryptic promos. I'm a big fan of horror films. I love riddles. I love making people guess what's going on. rather than just telling them straight up what the answer is, because I never found it fun when someone just knows everything, you know. He really gave vibes of, trying to think about what would be a good comparison. Like, sometimes gave vibes of the Joker, the Riddler.
Yeah.
Riddler, the Joker, maybe sometimes Green Goblin, depending on what he's doing. Or just a random guy from Duck Dynasty. Do you remember that show?
Yeah. Oh boy, do I.
One of my favorite quotes was from Jerry Lawler when he saw Bray Wyatt. He's like, kind of reminds me of Duck Dynasty meets Charles Manson.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I thought that was fun. I liked Bray Wyatt very much because he was different. He wasn't like any other wrestler, you know, or like the characters he had. Felt, a lot of people wanted to quote him as the next Undertaker, and I looked at this as like, oh hell no, this is the first Bray Wyatt. Not even the Undertaker went this cryptic. And the Undertaker, you know, he was just a frightening force of nature, and you just knew it, and you instantly respected him for it. Bray Wyatt, a majority of the time, nobody knew who he was or what he was. So that's why it really worked for me. I just wish that he was booked a lot better than he was when it comes to certain victories. Like, it was great when he became WWE champion in 2017. It only lasted like 7 weeks before he got pinned almost quickly at WrestleMania by Randy Orton. By that point, however, I believe he should have already been a world champion and could have been already dominating the scene. And I just really wish that, you know, the booking of the results of his matches were better so it could really showcase him as a true threat. You know, it's like he says he's going to do something and then he goes out and he does it. Rather than he says he's going to do something, but then John Cena gets the win in the end. No offense, but no offense to Super Cena, but those were not his matches to win. And it's kind of ironic we're talking about Payback after we're done with this, because Payback was the last time Bray Wyatt was a champion. He lost the Universal title to Roman Reigns, who, by the way, folks, has reached now 3 exact years as Universal Champion today. The previous champion was the late Bray Wyatt. That was the last time he was a champion. I remember when Brody Lee passed away, I knew for a fact that Wyndham was very, very hurt. And, you know, he did not even want to come back to WWE for a long time. He didn't want to do the WrestleMania match with Randy Orton because he was so upset and so, you know, depressed.
Yeah.
And, you know, at that moment, you know, I don't blame him, right?
Same, yeah, dude.
But he still did it anyway, just to finish off the feud. Then after that, he got released a few months later, which, of course, was a big line of controversy. But when he came back last year at Extreme Rules, I can't believe it's been only, like, almost 11 months since that return moment. It hasn't even been a year, and now he's gone. So I'm trying my best not to break down on the podcast. I'm so sorry, guys.
Same here.
When that return happened in 2022, this is, you know, Triple H. Triple H is in control creatively, and we saw basically a new side of things. New music, new characters like Uncle Howdy, and those Firefly Funhouse puppets or life-size versions. And his last match was with LA Knight at the Royal Rumble, and let's be honest, at the time, we didn't really like the match that much because it wasn't that long, there wasn't much going on, and it felt almost easy. The aftermath, of course, when Uncle Howdy, like, jumped off that stage onto LA Knight while the Firefly Funhouse puppets were looking on, I will admit that was freaky. But we were mostly like, come on, we need Bray Wyatt in actual feuds here. But then, of course, he got sick with COVID-19, which exacerbated an already existing heart condition. So, you know, he spent the last several months being sick and trying to fight this off. And, you know, he was cleared. He was cleared to come back a couple of weeks prior to his death. He was. And so I guarantee from what reports are saying, official reports from TMZ, saying that he went to take a nap and that was it. That was literally it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, I guarantee he was doing just fine. Probably did feel a little sick. Probably felt tired, exhausted. So he's like, you know what? A nap is going to do me well. But that was it. And fuck. Sorry. You know, I feel for JoJo. I feel for the kids.
Same.
They're young and they're gonna be moving on without a father in their life, and that hurts to hear for any person. No one should have to be as young as they are and live without their father.
Exactly.
Give me a moment, guys. I'm just gonna take this moment and contain myself.
Take your time, Christian. Yeah, I'll take it over.
No, it's okay. I'll be okay. It was a heart attack, folks, and I guarantee Bray Wyatt in the days leading up to it was brainstorming return ideas, and I guarantee he probably had a lot cooked up.
Yeah, dude.
It's just a shame we're never going to find out what those plans were, what could have happened. My thoughts and prayers are to JoJo, to the kids, to Bo Dallas, Mike Rotunda, IRS, his father. Literally the entire Rotunda family. Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan. Anybody who knew him very well in WWE or outside, because I know they're still hurting to this day. Just like we as the wrestling universe are still hurting because the wound is still fresh. And I want to take this moment and say, a fan did send me an interesting idea, which was I should do a best of the Bray Wyatt in my sins videos by putting in a compilation. What I will say right now is, as of right now, I'm not going to do it. However, I will put that idea on a bookmark for an idea in the future. I'm not doing it now because this is me being straight up with you guys. I love you all, but I am not going to try and get views and make monetizations based off of somebody's recent death, because I don't think that would be respectful. I'm not saying that anybody who does doing it is being disrespectful. I'm just saying it's not what I want to do, because I don't want to get views based off someone's death. That's just me. Like we're telling you guys about the passing right now on the same podcast where we're about to talk Payback. But, I'll do a best of series for certain sins videos. I already have that stuff planned out for others. So you kind of are on a good road here, because I have some great ideas for compilations in the future. I'm just saying that if I do a best of Bray Wyatt, I want to wait until the wound starts healing more. Catch my drift? Okay. But one last time, thoughts and prayers to the family of Wyndham Rotunda, his kids, JoJo, and everyone. Our thoughts and prayers are with y'all. And we are so glad that WWE is donating all purchases of Bray Wyatt's merchandise to the family, to the Rotunda family. So if you haven't already and you still have an interest, go to WWEshop.com. Go buy some Bray Wyatt merchandise. Or if you're going to a WWE event, go buy some at the merch stand.
True.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying, if you want to, and knowing that this is going to be given a good donation to the family, then go ahead and do your part. I might consider getting some Bray Wyatt merchandise when I attend Payback, because, folks, I will be in Pittsburgh this Saturday for WWE Payback, and I am so excited. With that being said, there's also one last thing. Our thoughts and prayers as well to the family of the legendary Bob Barker, who also passed away. Bob Barker, come on down. I guarantee he's hosting The Price is Right up there.
Yeah.
Who do we got for bids? Wyndham Rotunda, come on down. Brody Lee, come on down. Imagine that. I just imagine what it would look like up there, a Price is Right game.
Imagine, dude.
Anyways, are you ready to kick up the mood, though?
Oh, of course.
folks, now that we've gotten our thoughts and prayers to the family Wyndham Rotunda moving, we're going to continue to do what we do best, and that is entertain you. Even if Bray Wyatt never knew who we were, I guarantee he would want us to keep on going with what we do. So that's exactly what we're going to give to you. So, Heel Balor, you ready to talk Payback?
You know it.
All right. This is very interesting because there's a little bit of a missed opportunity. We mentioned Roman Reigns has been champion for 3 years. It was at Payback, the last time there was a Payback event where Roman won the title. But this is a missed opportunity because he is not scheduled to defend his title at the same event that he won it 3 years ago.
Hooray! What bad? I don't know. He rarely appears anyways, so.
Yeah. Speaking of, I was hoping that, assuming that, if Bray Wyatt was healthy enough, I was hoping that he would try and actually go for the title, maybe at the Payback event as like a reference. Saying the Fiend never forgets. We may never know what will happen, but it's just a nice little fantasy to think about. But I do believe, yes, this is kind of a missed opportunity, but at the same time, it's an event called Payback, but nobody in the bloodline is going to be there. This is the first time that the bloodline is not involved in a pay-per-view on the main roster whatsoever in, ever.
That's kind of a good sign.
Yeah. At least I think it is because, what I do believe, however, is when it comes to the bloodline, people have been saying there's always bloodline this or bloodline that. Give us something else. Well, here's your shot, right?
There you go.
Here's your shot because, when it comes to the likes of the bloodline, there's a lot that's going on with them because they've been the main focus of things.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, the last time there was a pay-per-view without the bloodline was actually Extreme Rules 2022. Conveniently enough, the night Bray Wyatt returned, but also that was one of the first events that was under Triple H's command. There was no bloodline, and there was all stipulated matches, and it was wild. I remember that. That was a good night, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
Literally everything about it was memorable, and that's what we like.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. But in this case, we have 6 matches on the card and a talk show segment. So we're actually going to start with the talk show segment, shall we? Because there's probably not much to say about it. The Grayson Waller effect is taking place on pay-per-view for the first time ever, as Grayson Waller's guest host is Cody Rhodes. I guess this is just a way of putting Cody on the pay-per-view because he doesn't have a match.
Yeah.
We gotta keep the streak going. How do we do it? Let's put him on a Grayson Waller effect. Boom, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum.
Bruh.
Let me ask you. Are you a fan much of Grayson Waller?
Am I a fan of Grayson Waller? I mean, in character, no. But actually, like a wrestler, yes.
I gotta say, WWE seems to have interest in him because in his first match on the main roster, he main evented SmackDown in Madison Square Garden against Edge of all people.
Yep.
Who's the last person that does that? Who the hell does that? They do. Grayson Waller does. But the big question is, and this is an understandable one, why is Grayson Waller hosting the Grayson Waller Effect with Cody Rhodes randomly on Payback when neither Cody nor Grayson have a sense of payback to each other?
Because they're trying to do filler.
I'm like, you got 6 matches on the card, which has given you success in the past. Why do you need filler for that?
I have no idea.
I don't get it either. But you know what? Whatever they do is whatever they do.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to predict, though.
Yeah,
so we just wanted to briefly talk about it, saying it's happening, and we don't get why it's happening, but it is happening. You ready to actually talk about what is happening?
Of course.
Yo, Bella, look above. There's a steel cage coming down.
I love cages.
Yep, we have a steel cage match taking place at Payback, and it is Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, the match that people were complaining weren't happening at SummerSlam. Which I'm like, well, here's the thing. I understand about that, but, they already had a stacked card, and you didn't want to add any more matches because that show went over 4 hours.
Yeah.
So, What we got here, Becky and Trish, hopefully in the culmination of their feud, because even Trish herself said, this is going on a little too long. When did it start? Like just after WrestleMania, I believe?
Yeah, after WrestleMania. It's been going on since then.
Yep. They had a match at the Night of Champions where Trish won thanks to the interference of Zoe Stark. And they all competed against each other as participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And I honestly thought that was really cool because, it was the first time Trish was in a ladder match. And I like that, Trish had been competing more often rather than just having the occasional match.
Yeah, she's actually getting her hands dirty.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about it. So when we got the whole deal with this, we honestly believe, because they were building things up, I was like, okay, they're going to face off at SummerSlam in some sort of match. But then that didn't end up happening because, Adam Pearce was like, you're going to face Becky Lynch. And I was like, here it comes in 2 weeks on Raw. I'm like, wait, what? I will admit, at first, I was like everybody else. I was like, why? SummerSlam's literally this Saturday. And you're skipping it? What's going on here? And I didn't understand it because, I was going to be at SummerSlam in Detroit, which I was. It was a good time because I wanted to see that match. Oh, look at this. I'm going to be at Payback this Saturday. Now I am going to see the match.
There you go.
I guess I win in the end. But I can understand the frustration in some ways. But, people were just taking it a little too far by saying this was sexist.
Of course. Everything has about sex and race.
Yep. So they faced off in that 2 weeks later match. Ended in a draw. Oh, crap. Then, of course, Steel Cage match was set for Payback. So this is where we're at now, folks. Trish Stratus legitimately has always wanted to compete in a steel cage match, because she never got the chance to do it back in her first run.
Yeah.
Who was the first to do it? Victoria and Lita, I believe? Yep. They were the first ever women's cage match.
It's a good one.
And I like that, ever since 2016, women started competing in more hardcore style matches like a cage match, a Hell in a Cell match, Money in the Bank, and a Elimination Chamber. And I like that, you have women competing in those type of matches too, because, it's like, why shouldn't they? We're on the question of why shouldn't they? And there's no real answer to why they shouldn't. Because they're women? Fuck you then. Put them in the freaking cages. Lock them up. Let's do this shit. And that's what I like about it. So, and while I admit, yes, this feud between Becky and Trish really went on way too long, and even then, it just wasn't that good. A lot of the promos were just not that good from either woman. And I was like, what the hell? Because you think of Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch. That's like one of the ultimate female dream matches out there that has still yet to exist. Now it has happened. Now it had happened again. Now it's happening yet again. And truthfully, I'm just like, oh my god, because I just really wish it was done better, or maybe as a one-time occasion, maybe.
Yeah, dude.
So I can understand, I did have some frustrations in some ways about this, but it was good in some ways, though, to have a non-title women's feud going on for quite some time.
Yeah.
We don't often get that. We hardly ever get a non-title women's match one-on-one against each other on pay-per-view. We hardly get that. Hell, that's never been done even at WrestleMania.
Wow, there you go.
Although people were like, what about Natalya and Liv Morgan? I'm like, that was a pre-show on the empty WrestleMania, which nobody watched. By that I mean nobody watched the pre-show. Nobody watches the pre-show, and let's be honest, that never counts for anything.
I did. I was bored.
Regardless, that wasn't even a feud. They just randomly put those two together in a match.
Exactly.
I'm still hoping that one of these days there is a major one-on-one, non-title women's feud at WrestleMania. That was what I was hoping would happen with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey if it was going to be at WrestleMania 39 before, a lot of shit changed.
Yeah, dude.
Because I would have been like, they don't have to compete for titles. Let's just have them fight each other in a non-title feud because this is beyond titles. And that would be the perfect example of it. It didn't end up happening. But you know what? It is what it is. So, I guarantee after this is over, Trish, she's going away. she's definitely going away, and she's definitely going back to mother life, which is understandable because, you know, at the same time, though, it's like, how many retirements has she had now?
I have no idea.
2.
The last retirement in ring was like 2006.
Conveniently enough, I was at both her retirement matches in the crowd. Did you know that?
Nope.
Yep. Unforgiven, 2006, in Toronto. I was in the crowd as a 10-year-old. And then fast forward to 2019, SummerSlam in Toronto. This is her second retirement match with Charlotte Flair. I was in the crowd for that. So, if this is her third retirement match, I'm going to be in the crowd for that one too.
There you go.
Oh my god, it'd be like, well, it definitely is a Trish Stratus retirement match. Christian Maracle is in the audience. I'm 3-0 for this, if that's the case. But as for who I think will win, Becky Lynch. And the reason for that, because Trish won the first time.
Yeah, Becky's winning.
Yeah. Overall, though, what did you think about the feud? Do you think it could have been better?
Way, way better than what it was. Like, it's just, oh, I hate you. You hate me. I paved the way. I paved the way. Like, it's just there. It's like, it could have been so much better, in my opinion. Like, I was excited when we officially started. And now I'm like, can we just get it over with? Please, just end it. Drop it. Can we move back onto something else?
And I talked with my brother Longnet Josh about this. First off, shout out to him. Love you, man. Hope to see you again soon. And he brought up a good point about this. Where the hell is Lita in all this?
Did you not know she got taken out of the storyline?
Yeah, she did. Literally when this feud began, and I'm like, she hasn't showed up for some payback? I really believe this should have been Becky and Lita versus Trish and Zoe in a tag match. Unless they're still planning on doing that and it's going to happen like Fastlane or Crown Jewel.
No more. No more.
Oh yeah, you want me let me guess, you want me to shut up right now because you don't want the WWE to hear that?
Yes, because I don't no more. No more. The end's here. No more.
What about WrestleMania 40?
Do you want my birthday to be bad? No.
Yes.
Roman walks out as champion. That's gonna set me off. So, anyways, that's
Oh my god, this was so funny as hell. All right, well, we both pick on Becky's side for this. We're gonna move on to the next match. This is actually a match I'm interested in. Definitely a battle of the egos. It's The Miz versus LA Knight. Yeah.
So
yeah. So I like this because, you know, it is indeed a battle of the egos. A lot of times LA Knight reminded me of The Miz. So I like that we get LA Knight versus The Miz one-on-one for this event. Not just because LA Knight is a major name that people love these days, but also because, you know, this could be like a I don't know how to describe this because, you know, The Miz, one of the best talkers, and also he can put on a great match. LA Knight, one of the best talkers today, can put on great matches. You put those two egos against each other, even though LA Knight's the good guy here, I'd honestly never look at LA Knight as a good guy or a bad guy. LA Knight is just him. Not Carmelo Hayes, but, you know, he's just him.
Yeah, nobody's mellow.
Hell no. Speaking of, I really look forward to seeing what Carmelo Hayes does for NXT No Mercy.
Oh, I think I got things in mind for him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't wait.
We will talk about that next month. And that's gonna be fun. So stay tuned for that, folks. Anyways, LA Knight won the Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal at SummerSlam. Duh. And he also eliminated The Miz. And I like, you know, when they finally got on the mic with each other, when you got The Miz and LA Knight on the microphones, I was like, oh shit. That was my reaction was, oh shit, here we go.
You know what that reminded me of? And I'm not going to compare, obviously, so hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. It reminded me of when CM Punk went toe-to-toe with MJF in the middle of the ring on AEW Dynamite.
Honestly, I agree with you. Because, you know, that was also a moment where you're like, finally, we get these two on the microphone in front of each other. And then they went on to have, I'll be honest, they had some decent matches.
They did.
Here's the hope in LA Knight and The Miz will follow suit here.
Oh, for real, dude.
Even if this is their only match they compete against each other, I'm totally cool with it. Because honestly, and I won't lie, I am a little skeptical because, we got the fact that one's a Raw wrestler, the other's a SmackDown wrestler. So it's kind of a co-branded thing. What?
I said, which means the draft is non-existent. We already knew about that.
Yeah. It's going to be tough to say casually when you're talking about LA Knight anymore.
Exactly.
But you know what? It is what it is. But for my case here, I'm actually okay with this type of, crossover feud because it's LA Knight and it's The Miz. This is honestly a feud I've been wanting to see since LA Knight was really bursting on the scene because I'm like, this is a dude with an ego who can put on a great match and also he's a hell of a talker. Put him up with The Miz, who's done this for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, whether you like The Miz or whether you don't like The Miz, we got to give him props that how long he's been doing this without stopping. When is the last time, aside from a couple injuries, minor injuries, Miz has never had a massive injury that kept him out for a year?
Not really.
Miz, he's either out for some minor injuries or because he's filming movies or filming Miz and Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that, aside from that, The Miz is here week in and week out. He's at all the shows, all the house shows, all the talk shows. He represents WWE at charity events when other people honestly just didn't want to do it. He's like, I'll do it. The fact that he's done so much for this company and the fact that, people are still saying that he's honestly just one of the worst that they ever had, that he should be released, he should be fired. I'm like, no. He honestly is what they need. And people are want to say that, oh, he's not doing much of anything right now. I'm like, he's just the butt of all jokes here. I'm like, I think that's the point with what he's doing right now because it's actually helping others, get over. In this case, I guarantee The Miz is going to do everything in his great power to put over LA Knight. Yeah.
Yep.
Bet you couldn't have said it better yourself, right?
Exactly.
I am excited for this match because I'm hoping it's going to be good, and I guarantee that this will be a great moment where Miz really puts over LA Knight. I believe, yes, LA Knight will win this match because I think he should be on closer chances to becoming United States champion.
As we've been saying for months.
Yep. And unlike most who are just constantly complaining on stuff when he did not win Money in the Bank or win that U.S. title invitational tournament, I'm like, hey, LA Knight is succeeding even without those. What's that say about him?
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, so I believe LA Knight will win this. What is your thoughts, honestly, on the feud between LA Knight and The Miz?
It's one of those matches that infused that just fell into their laps and just like, here, let's do this. And it's like, I don't think anyone was really thinking about this rivalry at first. And when it started, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Just Mike talking. My kind of shtick. And I'm going to enjoy the match. It's going to be great, but more so I enjoy the talking. Just like I had CM Punk and MJF, the talking. The in-ring work was pretty good too, and I think these two are going to deliver too in the ring. And I get LA Knight winning as well. Miz don't need this win. Miz is a veteran. Future Hall of Famer. Enough said. Just lose the tiny balls gimmick. That's way old. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, because everybody needs to understand that he has massive balls. So get over it, folks. Miz has massive balls. I would know. I looked at them.
Yeah. Anyways.
Like a Willie's like, wait, what? Anyway, let's move on. Okay, we're going to move on now because we have some championship matches to talk about. The first being the United States Championship. New champion, Rey Mysterio. He's been champion for a month, but we're still calling him new champion because it actually hasn't been a month yet. Taking on Austin Theory, the previous champion. And now here's where I want to also bring something else up. Some people are complaining that this match is on the pay-per-view, yet they decide to scrap Gunther versus Chad Gable, the rematch, for Monday Night Raw. And, at first, I won't lie, I would have preferred to see Gunther and Chad Gable added to the card rather than just simply replacing another match. But I wouldn't say that this match is replacing them, because I like the idea we're not over-bloating the card. That's what Triple H said. We're not over-bloating a match card. And it's, in my opinion, it would be way better for Gunther and Chad Gable to have their match this upcoming Monday night on Raw, because that is the last show left before Gunther breaks the all-time record as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. That's why I'm like, put that as like the main event of Monday Night Raw. Call it as a last chance before he breaks the streak.
Which he will.
Yep.
Actually.
Or could you imagine if Chad Gable wins the title?
Oh, I won't be mad because I love Chad Gable, but I'm like, well, that was a waste.
Yep, because
that's not, all that I'm beating everybody just to lose to, not saying just to lose to Chad Gable, but at least you should have made it to like on the next pay-per-view, which I think they're gonna do. But
yep, because
I think that's fun to do.
The record, the Honky Tonk Men's record is 454 days. Gunther will reach 454 on Thursday, September 7th. So that means Raw is the last chance. Raw September 4th is the last chance for anyone to dethrone Gunther, because Friday night on SmackDown, if he is there, which I don't think he will be, but if he is, he's already broken it.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm like, it's good that you're putting Gunther against Chad Gable on Monday Night Raw instead of Payback. So instead of 2 chances, there's only 1 chance, which puts all the pressure on Chad Gable to break the record and all the pressure on Gunther to make sure that he keeps his title. This is way better.
Yeah, dude.
So, I would have loved to see it in person at Payback. However, I prefer this way better. And besides, this match has a sense of payback with Rey Mysterio and Austin Theory, because Rey Mysterio initially lost the tournament to Santos Escobar.
True.
And Mysterio got injured during the match, thus Santos was named the winner by referee stoppage. And I won't lie, like when I saw that happen, the way he landed on his head, I got scared. Because, you know,
we all did.
Rey is nearing 50.
Which is insane to think about.
Yeah. So, Austin Theory attacked Santos Escobar before they were about to compete for the title, for the Intercontinental Championship. And so, Adam Pearce allowed Rey Mysterio to take Santos's place, and then Rey ends up winning the championship. Because, you know, that at the same time has got me interested in what's going on, because the LWO was supposed to be Santos Escobar competing for the United States Championship against Austin Theory. And he beat Rey Mysterio, even if it was by referee stoppage. He won the match to go on to become number 1 contender, yet it was Rey who ends up winning the belt anyway. This has me concerned that this is going to cause problems with Santos. Perhaps, maybe, Santos Escobar could cost Rey Mysterio the U.S. title back to Austin Theory.
Please no.
Or Rey wins the match, retains the title, and then Santos actually does attack him. Because
that's fine.
I got this odd feeling that Santos is going to be upset and jealous and would want payback for what happened. Just like Austin Theory wants payback for the fact that Rey Mysterio was not supposed to be competing against him for the title.
He's got a point.
These matches, everything that's on here has a sense of payback, which is good. And personally, I'm going to take a shot here. That was a good whiskey. Now, anyways, I'm going to talk about this really quickly.
Okay.
I believe Austin Theory is going to win back the United States title, be a 3-time champ.
Oh, joy.
I don't want that to happen at all. I think his recent title reign that lasted like over 260 days was crap. Especially after he beat John Cena at WrestleMania. How the hell do you go from that to downgrading to yourself in some of the worst ways possible? Maybe John Cena was just simply right about him. He wasn't ready. Speaking of John Cena, are you guys excited to see John Cena on SmackDown this Friday?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. John Cena's going to be hanging around for the next couple months, so get used to that.
He is.
Well, the writer strike's going on, so I'm not surprised he has some spare time. Hopefully John Cena is in an actual feud, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, I'm taking the shot in the dark and saying Austin Theory is going to win back the U.S. title because Santos Escobar turns heel on Rey.
I can see it.
So what's your thoughts overall on the U.S. title picture? What's going on going into this match?
I really don't have much to say on it, honestly. I'll just get my predictions out. I think Austin Theory is going to lose this match. Ray retains, and then maybe Santos does turn heel. But I think Ray's going to hang on to it just a bit longer.
Perhaps,
I love Theory. But he doesn't need it back.
Yeah, I agree. Whatever the case is, I still question why is Ray the champion here. Although conveniently he's the United States champion while Dominic is North American champion.
There you go.
So I'm like, okay then. That's weird. We're going to move on now to the next match. This is for the Women's World Championship. A match that I have been hoping was also going to be at SummerSlam, but ends up not being at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley defending against Raquel Rodriguez. So this is a match that not only me, but this is also something Mama Maracle has been wanting to see for a long time because she loves both of them. It's like, these two can put on a good match, so put them in against each other. This is honestly a match where I could see it going either way. Rhea Ripley, she's been a dominating women's champion. However, only on the very rare occasion she's been defending her title.
Yeah, very, very, very rare.
Which is unfortunate. She won the title from Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble match at number 1. So you'd expect a great Rumble appearance, a victory at number 1, a big championship win against Charlotte Flair in the longest women's title match in WrestleMania history and one of the best women's title matches of all time. You get that, and then you get her squashing people and rarely defending her title. Here's the thing. Her last few title defenses were against, Natalya and the Night of Champions, and then again on an edition of Raw.
Yeah, and she has been seen since. Anyways.
Are you talking Natalya?
Natalya, yeah.
Yeah. I think she's close to near retirement anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
But then, of course, majority of her time, Rhea Ripley is just being there for Dominic Mysterio and also trying to get Finn Balor and Damian Priest to cooperate and constantly putting them on timeout.
Which is funny. Go look at Finn Balor's latest post. It's funny.
Yep. She's always constantly putting them in the corner. She really is mommy.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly thought that was just something for Dominic, but I'm like, oh no, she's the mommy of the Judgment Day.
Oh, boy.
So, she's finally getting her title match against Raquel Rodriguez. And, truthfully, I'm a little torn on where to go on this because I really want Rhea Ripley to have a meaningful title reign and maybe start to actually defend more in good matches again because I know she's more than capable. But I also don't want Raquel Rodriguez to go through all this stuff and everything she went through the last few months all just to not get the championship because Raquel Rodriguez is one of the best women's wrestlers right now on the main roster and somebody who absolutely has a bright future ahead of her. Same thing with Rhea Ripley. These two women are both wild and young.
Mm-hmm.
And they're competing for the women's world title at a major pay-per-view. So, doesn't get any better than that, in my opinion.
Did you say wild and young?
Yeah.
That's a little throwback to the old NXT theme from back in the day.
Yeah, I guess it is. I just now remember that. Raquel Rodriguez, when she was Raquel Gonzalez in NXT, won the women's title from Io Shirai, who's now Io Sky, at TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1 in the main event. Remember that?
I do.
That was good. And that was the moment where, absolutely deserved. And she had a good title reign, in my opinion. A lot of people called it overrated. I'm like, I liked it. But she's somebody who I looked at her, and while a lot of people, when she was teamed up with Dakota Kai, they looked more like, a lot of fans were like, Dakota Kai's the better one. And I was looking at Raquel, I'm like, oh, no, it's her.
Yeah.
Hell, she's the one who got the title before Dakota ever did, and Dakota's never actually gotten the women's title.
That is true.
Raquel Rodriguez has made a lot of history. She's won more tag team titles than anyone in WWE history. She's a 5-time tag team champion.
There you go.
2-time NXT Women's Tag Champ and 3-time main roster Women's Tag Champ. 5 overall. No other female has won 5 tag team titles. So she made history on that when she and Liv Morgan won the tag titles from Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Although that ended up not even lasting. That went on for like less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay then. I was like, well, that just happened.
There you
go. The status of the women's tag titles right now is actually funny because, there's a whole deal with Chelsea Green and then Sonya Deville, which then turned into Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, who's just forcing her way into things, saying, hey, I'm your partner, now move. And I'm like, I'll be honest, I feel like the women's tag titles, the division on that side, is actually becoming more entertaining, and it's because of Chelsea Green.
Until Sonya gets back, and I can't wait for her to get back.
Torn up ACL, so we won't see her till 2024, unfortunately.
Yeah, but Chelsea's keeping things entertaining. I'm loving her gimmick.
Yep. Recover well, Sonya. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you, when it comes to the women's world title, what do you think would benefit more out of this? A Rhea win or a Raquel win?
Rhea, it's going to come into play what we're going to be talking about a little bit later. So I'm not going to say too much about this, but it's going to come into play a little bit later as to why I think Rhea's winning. But Rhea's going to retain. I like Raquel. She's great. Said this in my video a few hours ago. Go check out, by the way. But yeah, I think Rhea retains here. And again, I don't want to say much, but you'll understand when we get to specifically the main event and the tag title match. You'll understand what I'm talking about.
Speaking of the tag team title match, that is our next match we're talking about. Oh, by the way, I forgot to put my prediction.
Oh, what you got?
I'm going to take a chance and say Raquel Rodriguez.
That's fair.
All right. Now we're going to move on, folks, to the tag team championships for the Undisputed tag team titles in a match known as a Steel City Street Fight. That's because Pittsburgh is the Steel City.
Correct.
I guess this also means anything steel was legal.
True.
So wait, what if there's somebody in the crowd whose first name is Steel?
Then they have to get out of there.
Yeah, because they can be used as a weapon. But then again, I don't know anybody named Steel. I don't even know if that's an actual name.
I know a few people. Anyways.
Okay. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are defending against the Judgment Day. In this case, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And I'm like, honestly, who better? Because I get, there's the whole deal with Dominic Mysterio in it. But given the fact that Finn Balor and Damian Priest have been at each other's throats the last couple months, this is the perfect duo to compete for the tag titles right now.
Exactly.
They're the two men who have been put on constant timeout. Now they have to team together. This is one of those can they coexist matches done right.
Exactly.
Normally they do can they coexist matches for two people who are going to face each other on an event. In this case, there's two people who have problems with each other. Can they coexist to win the tag titles? And again, with all due respect, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn has been some of the worst tag team champs I've ever seen. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they were put on injury.
Exactly.
They really should have split the tag titles. Because this is ridiculous. You've got like 14 or 15 tag teams across 2 brands. And not one of them is actually trying to win a chance to face the champions.
I wish they merge all the tag teams together and just form and make them one big thing, like defending across NXT, SmackDown, and Raw.
Unfortunately, that's not what they're doing. They're not even they have both the Raw and SmackDown tag titles, so they can go both ways on both shows. And the champions, the tag teams on both sides, can compete against each other and such. But nobody's trying to go for it. That's the main problem. Even if the champions are injured, okay, well, couldn't you at least host it like a big tournament or something? Put all these teams in like a big tournament, compete against each other week after week, week after week. That will give the champions time to recover from their minor injuries, and then, boom, compete against your new set of challengers.
Exactly.
We're not even doing that. Judgment Day's getting a tag title shot just fucking because.
Boom.
And I get it. They're on the poster of Payback. The Judgment Day's on the poster. But at the same time, like, seriously? Nobody else cares? Why? You agree, this is ridiculous.
I mean, it's there.
It's one thing if there was a Raw tag title match where, there's hardly anybody going for it, but meanwhile on the other side there's the SmackDown tag titles and people are going for it. But in this case, these guys are undisputed tag champs, and no one cares. No tag team on the roster cares, except for Judgment Day. Does any other team care right now? Imperium did for a little while, but not anymore.
There you go.
How about Hit Row? they're trying to stay. They're just trying to stay relevant. How about the Street Profits with their new thing with Bobby Lashley? They trying to go for tag titles? Nope. New Day? They just got back, but New Day? Nope. Viking Raiders? Nope. How about even Indus-Sher?
Who?
Well, they are actually going to go for the tag titles at the Superstar Spectacle taking place in India, folks, next week. But still, that's non-televised. On television, however, nope. WWE is just still, even Triple H in control, not booking the tag team division properly.
Oh, WWE.
They don't care, and that's unfortunate. Hell, even the LWO. Here's like Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. What the hell are they doing?
Nothing.
Even Zelina Vega had something going on for her. Santos had something going on for him, too. He still does. He's the whole deal with the U.S. title picture. Zelina tried and failed to win the women's title from Io Sky recently. But Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, they're not doing shit. That's unfortunate, and I'm like, that is part of why this tag team division is shit. You have a lot of tag teams and great talent. You're not even utilizing them. Hell, Alpha Academy, they're a tag team, but yet this is Chad Gable going for a singles title, leaving Otis with nothing. Hell, even Maxine Dupree is doing better than Otis.
Yeah.
But they're all doing good individually when they're supposed to be going for freaking tag team gold. And nobody's going for tag team gold because guess what? They don't give a shit.
That's WWE for you.
Yeah, so that's why I feel bad for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're the undisputed tag champs. Congratulations, no one cares. Except for the Judgment Day. Now, this is only the case because the Judgment Day has been trying to fight people, and then KO and Sami make the save.
Same old shtick every week.
Very fucking annoying. However, this is a Steel City street fight, and here's my prediction for this. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, they win the tag titles, but they're still at each other's throats, and this is going to be good. You know why?
What you got?
The Judgment Day should win the tag titles and implement the Freebird rule, which also technically means Rhea Ripley is a champion.
Maybe.
Dirty Dominic Mysterio would instantly be a champion, and potentially JD McDonough. If Finn Balor's like, I consider him part of us, so I'm giving him this, thus causing more problems. Because that would be amazing. And at the same time, like, sure, KO and Sami, they put on some good matches. However, they haven't been in any real feud. This, outside the bloodline, this feud right here is one of the only ones they ever had. They've been champs for 150 days and hardly had a real memorable feud. Outside of ones they were already in.
True.
And even that one they were already in with the bloodline, I kind of figured it was over once they beat the Usos at WrestleMania. Nope, it wasn't over. Oh, they had a rematch. Oh, that didn't work out for them. Oh, now we got Roman and Solo challenging for the titles. It's still the bloodline. But after that was over and said and done with, I was like, okay, now they can move on to some really good feuds. Nope, one of them got hurt. So you're going to strip the titles off of them? Nope. What are you going to do with it? Nothing.
WWE.
Yet Sami Zayn going around just hanging out for a while with nothing to do. But yeah, I'm like, I don't want KO and Sammy to retain their tag titles because I'm sorry, I can't see them as tag champs. Those two are singles competitors, in my opinion, no matter how much they try. Are they good friends? Yes. But I just can't see them in tag team divisions, and they're not even doing good as the Undisputed Tag Champs. And it's not even their fault. They're being booked to look like crap as tag champs. Not just because of the injuries, but because they hardly have anything set for them and no other team is trying to get at them. Aside from the Judgment Day.
There you go.
So I feel for them. I really do. But I want them to lose the tag title so they don't have to be in that horrible picture. So yeah, I'm going for Judgment Day. What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, it should be something interesting. I do like that Finn's competing. Also, if Judgment Day wins this match, Finn Balor will officially be a Grand Slam champion. I'll be so proud of him. But,
holy shit, you're actually right. I just never noticed that.
Yeah, Finn's won every title in the company except the North American title, the NXT Tag Team titles, and the WWE Tag Team titles.
All right then.
He hasn't won any of those 3 titles, but everything NWA title, he hasn't won that. Not yet, at least. I tell him the World Heavyweight Championship. But before the World title was even brought back. But still, my point stands. Honestly, I said this in my video, little spoiler. This could go either way. On one hand, you have Judgment Day, who could win. And on the other hand, you have, obviously, our tag team champions, Sammy and Kevin, who could win. You have the implications of, them retain the tag titles and go on and feud with somebody else. But at the same time, they're injured. Well, they were injured. Now they're back together and, everyone's fine. Also, Judgment Day win, the whole thing with Judgment Day is like we have to take over. They're like the new bloodline, basically. There's rumors with the bloodline, and then with them being off TV now, Judgment Day basically is up there with power. What better way to give Judgment Day everything then give them the tag titles, and something that I will talk about when we get to the main event. It's going to come into play again. Again, I'm very torn, honestly. I want to see Finn as a champion. You also got to remember what Rhea said this past week, which again will come into play in the main event, where she's basically said that, if you don't win your matches, you're basically out of Judgment Day. Whoever does not walk out champion or anything, whoever loses their match is out of Judgment Day. I do think that what's going to happen is that Jordan Devlin's going to get involved, and there's going to be miscommunication, and then
McDonough.
I can see,
JD McDonough, not Jordan Devlin.
Whatever. I still call him Jordan Devlin. Whatever you want. Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough, same person. Anyways, or as people call him, Bobblehead Finn. That's a new thing apparently.
Didn't you call him JD McBigmac?
Yes, JD McBigmac, JD McHappy Meal, but I don't want to overdo that because I might have McDonald's later, so I want to freaking think about that when I'm chomping on my chicken nuggets. So, anyways.
Well, look on the bright side. You're having chicken nuggets, not a freaking burger.
That is true. Plus the burgers are trash anyways. Yeah, I said it. Anyways, I'm gonna go with Sammy and Kevin to get the win. There's gonna be some miscommunications out there with Judgment Day, and JD McDonough is gonna do some stupid shtick and probably cause some distraction. And I do see who's going to take the pin. You go the way. Yeah, I think probably Finn's taking the pin, if anything. You could have Damian Priest take the pin. Either way, I think Judgment Day loses this match, but it's not over for them. It's not over. There's going to be some infighting, but I don't think it's all going to end too bad for Judgment Day. We'll talk about the main event in just a second. That's all I'm going to say. Sam and Kevin retain.
All right, we are going to indeed talk about the main event coming up next, and that is for the World Heavyweight Championship, which I hope is the main event of the show, because this will be the first time that World Heavyweight title will be the main event.
I do want to talk, before you continue, Christian, I do want to talk a quick, teeny tiny bit about that. So people are talking about, well, the steel cage match main event, or this main event. Well, what do you think? What do you think, in your opinion, should main event? Of course, you don't book the shows. What do you personally think should main event?
This one.
If you were booked.
This one.
Same here.
Yeah.
World title match.
World Heavyweight title match. Seth freaking Rollins defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. We've been seeing a side of Shinsuke Nakamura that we haven't seen in a long time.
A freaking time we're seeing this.
Yeah, it seems like we can finally start taking Nakamura more seriously again. Well, good. It's just been only 5 years since the last time.
Enough.
Sorry, what?
I said they took them long enough.
Yeah. It's been like 5 years since the last time we did take him seriously, and that was like, what, WrestleMania 34 against AJ Styles? That was the last time?
Yeah, and the ball kicking. Then he was heel until now, and he's back to being heel.
Yep. He's back to being a heel, and honestly, truthfully, I don't even know what's going on. But I like it because Shinsuke Nakamura is cutting his promos in his native language of Japanese. So I'm like, finally.
So cool.
He sounds more threatening this way.
Yeah,
he's like,
he's talking about
if you have Japanese wrestlers, let them cut their promos in their language rather than just trying to desperately speak English.
It's very cool. Especially it's very threatening as well.
Sorry, no speak English.
Oh, God, don't talk about that. Ugh.
I will admit, that did start off pretty good, though.
It did, but then it got so annoying. Like, we get it. It's not funny.
Honestly, it was. Because what was funny about it was like, Shinsuke, we know you speak English. I did learn English, but I forgot. And I was like, that was perfect.
Exactly.
That was funny. Because I thought they were going somewhere funny with this. But then that just ended up not working out. AJ Styles beat him so many times in a row.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm like, Shinsuke Nakamura is an example of somebody who's been well overdue for a world title.
Yeah.
My opinion, should have beaten AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34.
Thank you.
Which, by the way, was the first time the Losers Lounge podcast was official. We had our first episode for WrestleMania 34.
Exactly. History.
Yep. I'm like, that's the event where it really should have happened. It would have been great to see that. If you're going to have AJ win the title back, well, they could have still done this all the way through to that last man stand. Imagine AJ wins it back. Ta-da. But I really wish that Nakamura was treated more as a threat to everybody on the roster compared to what he was given. Especially since we saw his run in NXT, which was outstanding. It's just unfortunate it didn't go that way. But you know what? Here we are now. He's in a world title match and potentially the main event of the pay-per-view. So this could hopefully be a good turning point, or it could not. Regardless, this isn't just your average Nakamura we've been seeing over the last few years who's getting that title shot. This is one who's finally had enough. So I'm like, hopefully, I'm just hoping to see a fantastic match with these two. So I'm going to put in my prediction, however, Seth Rollins will retain the World Heavyweight title. But I want this to be a long match. I want it to be really good. Great back and forth action. And maybe some almost victories where you're like, he got it. Ah, so close. Wait, what? We're still going? You know, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just as long as it's not overdone, obviously. All right, what's your thoughts on this? Because I know you say you have quite a bit to say.
Shinsuke Nakamura will not win the World Heavyweight Championship. As much as I would like to see Shinsuke with the world title, that has long sailed into the distance, sadly. I really hope I'm wrong with that statement there. Now, Seth is going to retain the world title, but people are forgetting that, in the storyline, it's all about Seth's back. And, Shinsuke kind of doesn't really want the world title, if you think about it. If you really, really analyze the whole thing and you break it down a little bit, Shinsuke technically doesn't want the title. Well, technically he does, but at the same time, my point stands. This whole thing's gonna be great. Seth's been champion since Night of Champions, which was in May, right?
Yep.
89 days as champ when we get to Payback?
Well, no. Considering that was the day Roman Reigns reached 1,000, and he's at 1,095 right now, Seth will be at 98.
Well, there you go. Now my point comes into play. Thank you. So, Shinsuke's going to beat the living piss out of this dude. Of course, Seth will have his comebacks, but I guarantee you what's going to happen. Shinsuke's going to beat this guy, not beat him for the title, but he's going to, basically, wear him down a little bit. Kinshasas everywhere, knees to the back, all that kind of stuff. Seth's going to retain. Then afterwards, this man's going to be so beaten up and probably another Kinshasa to the face. Here comes Mr. Money in the Bank. Now, keep in mind what I said earlier. Judgment Day is going to lose that match. Keep in mind, Finn Balor and Damian Priest are going to lose the tag team title match. But here comes Mr. Money in the Bank. Damian Priest is going to cash in, become World Heavyweight Champion. That's my prediction. Damian Priest walks out World Heavyweight Champion. Finn Balor is left with nothing. Nothing. I don't care what the rumors are saying. Oh, it's gonna be Jordan. It's gonna be Damian Priest being kicked. No. Don't just believe you real on the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Trust your heart, trust your mind, not the sources, obviously. I think Damian Priest gonna cash in, become World Heavyweight Champion. And Seth, I like Seth. Been saying for a while. Great guy, great wrestler, great talent. Time to drop the gold. Time to drop it. And then they want the flag bearer of Raw. You want to make a new star? Put the title on Damian Priest. Have him carry it, and you can deal with your Judgment Day shtick later. Put the title on Damian Priest. It's time. It's time to pull the trigger this week.
All right, I like that.
And that's what's gonna happen. I don't know how the way to do it. I don't know any other way to put it. And keep in mind, if you don't win, keep in mind what Rhea said again. You don't win a title, you're out of Judgment Day. Damian will see that and be like, all right, then I'm gonna go cash in. He cashes in, becomes world champ. Finn has nothing. Nothing. I don't see Sam and KO losing, sadly. They could. My other scenario was like they win the tag titles and then Damian just cashes in anyways and just wins the world title and Judgment Day holds all the gold, which would be freaking incredible. But I think, Damian Priest is walking up world champion. Seth, you've had it long enough. I like you. You're great. You're amazing. Your song's very annoying, though. But besides that, I like you. But it's time to drop the world title. Damian Priest walks up world heavyweight champion. Please. Please.
All right.
And then Finn Balor gets booted from the group. I don't freaking know. Or they invite Jordan Devlin. I don't freaking know what's going to happen.
Or maybe here's the third option.
All right, I need a third option. What you got?
Finn Balor gets kicked out. He and Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough have formed their new tag team.
That is another thing people have been bringing up, Mr. Miracle. So they think, Finny Boy and his buddy here are going to go out and find new talent and find their, it's going to be Judgment Day Civil War, basically Bloodline Civil War, but just on a smaller scale. Think about it. You got Damian, you got Rhea, you got Dominic, you got JD McDonough, you got Finn Balor, and you got whoever the heck they can go out and find. And this all culminates, wherever it culminates, WrestleMania, please, with my guy becoming World Heavyweight Champion finally. Finally. Because one of my buddies, shout out to my buddy, by the way, shout out to you, Anto, I love you. He thinks that they're not putting the world title on Finn until he gets out of Judgment Day. Put the title on Priest, and don't do the freaking rivalry until WrestleMania. Have the Civil War, have Damian defend it, have him go on a pretty long run as champ, because he deserves it, in my opinion. I think it'd be great. Get his feet wet. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, WrestleMania 40, world title. Please.
Alrighty.
That's what I think's going to happen.
This sounds like it'll be great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that culminates our predictions to WWE Payback. We will be, of course, back here tomorrow with none other than AEW All Out, which will probably have not much to say for their matches, because, it was put in literally a week after All In. So, that might be a short podcast with a lot of matches to talk about. Who knows? Well, just wait and find out. Hell, we might not even be talking about the full card because they'll probably throw in some more in Collision right after we're done posting.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of brawls in here.
Well, I'm obviously not going to be watching AEW Collision because at the same time, I'm going to be attending WWE Payback. So, I'll be busy.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. That culminates, however, our podcast for episode 122. We had a nice tribute to Bray Wyatt at the start of it. And great talk of Payback. I look forward to the show on Saturday. Heel Balor, and you know what to do.
Yeah. We're the losers, and this is our lounge. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.